Guys, the video I'm about to post is a breakdown of me rolling with one of my students, Mike. Mike is over 6 feet tall, very good jiu-jitsu player. He's a blue belt, and he is also a chiropractor. So he knows the body very well, and so he's able to utilize his limbs. In this video, I'm going to be explaining how I'm using the kimura trap system to set up the reverse triangle from multiple positions. In this video, I'm only focusing on that. I'm not trying to do anything else, really. Of course, other stuff happens in scrambles, but I'm really just trying to focus on that technique. If you stay tuned, like most videos that I've been posting, after the video, I'll have a breakdown of me actually teaching the instruction of the same technique. Hope you guys enjoy. Here we go, guys. In this video, you get to see me roll with Dr. Mike, a chiropractor. Over 6 feet tall, long legs, very difficult to deal with. So I start entering headquarters. He's able to move me around, use his long legs to frame. He's very active with his limbs, constantly wrist grabbing, framing at the hip, moving up and down, side to side, overhooks my leg, puts me in half guard. I backstep, I pull his long leg. When I go up against taller opponents, I try to get more inside their guard than around it because their legs are so long. So here I'm specifically just trying to work the kimura trap series I had previously taught. So my goal here is just to focus on that kimura trap system. So here I start moving him to his side, go to the back. I already have a kimura trap. Have my leg across, try to trap his shoulder, and immediately pin his own hand against his stomach, trap his shoulder here, and I'm really trying to connect these different techniques with the kimura trap. So here, I'm able to connect a triangle armbar. That's my goal, is just to do that specifically. Doesn't want to do stand-up, which is great for me because he's so tall. I control his legs. He has such long legs that even when I clear my leg, he's able to recompose because he's so tall. And I have to really stay technical and be careful with his long limbs. So I'm trying to stay very tight within his guard. Notice my hip's connected to his hip. I cross face. I'm able to put pressure, check his hip, start working from side control, and then again start working that kimura trap. I use my knees to pin his shoulder and force his back. Kimura trap again, controlling the wrist, throwing my leg over his head. Because I'm shorter, I can kind of use my body against his shoulder since his entire limb is pretty long compared to my limb. It's easier to trap. I throw my leg over his belly, throw my other leg over his shoulder, and immediately trap for the technique of the day, which is the triangle from kimura trap. So we go again, wrist control, trying to work. He's doing a good job wrist grabbing and framing and staying active, which is giving me a hard time to engage my passing. So I'm going to try to leg weave outside of his long legs. I go to knee cut. I beat the underhook. Immediately push his wrist down, pin his forearm, stuff the head, control the shoulder, far side shoulder. He is doing a good job rotating, creating momentum, trying to get me back into half guard, cupping my heel. I step over and immediately start trapping and isolating the arm more. So now I go back and set up the same thing. Kimura trap all the way. He puts me in half guard, but believe it or not, because I have shorter legs, I can still leverage inside half guard to get my leg out. I go again with the reverse triangle the other way. Pin the upper body with his shoulder, so his head and his arm, and get the kimura trap to the arm lock. I pin the leg this time. I step on it. I cup the ankle. I start shifting. He's able to recompose. I knee cut out. I try to rotate and go the other way. I step through. I'm able to pass. Trap the kimura again. Now this time I push him so he can get all the way to his side. I don't want him flat. He wants to get flat. He starts getting flat. So I use it to angle and place my leg where I need it again. And then immediately I start working that shoulder trap. Look at my right leg. It pins the shoulder. And when I do that, I'm able to sneak my leg in there and close my triangle. And then I have that same reverse triangle with the arm trap. This is what I was trying to do the whole time from the kimura trap system. So he's still doing a good job hand fighting and using his feet and hands to create what I call traffic, right? There's a lot of traffic, so I gotta bypass the traffic. In this case, I gotta bypass 4 limbs, 4 long limbs. So it's a really good defense when you're able to be active. And pass the knee shield, hug the hip, keep the cross face. He underhooks all the way to the other side of my hip, so then I underhook and check his hip. And then I rotate. He puts me back. Look how long his limb is. He could basically almost wrap his entire leg around my waist. So I don't let him by pinning his hip with my other hip. And I pin the shoulder. And that's pretty much about the roll. I think the time runs out here. Felt like I was just trying the kimura trap. Good job to Mike, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Combination series from that same position, right? So you can go from the same position, cup the elbow, get the Russian tie, right? And then look, at drive into them. If I just do this key lock, I mean, it works, but you know, my opponent's usually going to know what to do to avoid this. Exactly. So what I want to do in this position is I actually want to drive into him. See how I drive? So when he drives back, the switch here, keeping my elbow tight so he cannot re-drag, grab, and then we're here. This is a great wrestling move, but we have to keep staying in the jiu-jitsu mindset, because in wrestling, of course, I'm going to try to like use a lot of energy to try to pin him. In jiu-jitsu, I don't. If he gives me very natural instinct, it is a very natural instinct of people like post the hands here, I jump to the back super easily, put my chest to his back and stay connected. If he gives me a jiu-jitsu response, exactly, stays very tight. Now I can do my seatbelt grip, be very careful with this hand so he doesn't reverse me. Sometimes I like to grab the inside of their leg, connect my seatbelt grip, and choke the trachea, right? And then my shoulder rolls over the back of his head, and I'm able to get one hook. And then if I can't get my other hook, I close my feet like this, stretch them out, and get my other hook. Of course, I have options here. Could have hand control, not wrist control, because he could easily break this grip, right? All he has to do is stretch his hand out. Go ahead, stretch your hand out. Easy to break. But if I have hand control, much easier to manipulate his arm. Of course, I have my basic forearm choke. I like to grab, maybe trap the leg, come here, and finish. But that's not what I'm going to focus on today. A lot of times, your opponents will give you a hard time trying to get the choke. They put the chin down. They're doing a real good job controlling the arm, right? Especially when they smother into you like this. Very tough here. So in a lot of positions, I like to kimura trap on that same arm. Look at my right leg. I'm going to use it to pivot, and I'm going to start attacking the arm bar here. And so I have the arm bar, especially from kimura trap. If I can't get it, maybe he connects his hands. Go ahead and, yeah, however, he connects his hands, that's okay. If you're shorter like me, you can X your feet to break the grip. If you're taller with longer legs, you can start to pull and triangle that opposite leg, right? You could even thread the needle for a triangle, right? If he comes up, he falls right into a triangle. If he doesn't come up, you could still cross your legs and start going back to that arm bar. And if not, you can also still switch and go back to a kimura, or you can bait him to come back up and retake the back. Okay? So connecting the whole series together, right? Cup the elbow, Control the wrist. Drive your shoulder into his lat. I'm pushing. I want a response. When he pushes back, I switch, but look at my elbow. It's tight here. Over the lat, circle. Now we wait for his response, right? I'm putting pressure in. He gives me this response. Both hooks, get the back. Second option, he gives me more of a jiu-jitsu response. Block, connect my seatbelt. Roll, get the bottom hook. He doesn't let me get the top hook. Cross my legs. Stretch, get my hook. Control, have one option right here. Second option, he smothers into me, makes it very difficult. His hand fighting very well. Look, kimura trap. Keep that palm pressed to his chest. Pivot out and get the arm bar. From here, different series of arm bars. X my feet, extend. That's one arm bar. If I'm taller, pull the tricep, triangle the legs, finish the arm bar. Third option, thread the needle, get the triangle, right? If he doesn't come up, I can cross my legs and go back for the triangle. Another option, if I'm able to break the grip, I can start throwing my leg over and actually triangle here. If I still can't get that and I want to reposition my back take, I'm gonna bait him. I fall back, he comes up, and I can come back to my back control here and start attacking. So some options. One more thing real quick. From the armbar, guys, if I have my feet like this, I actually don't control his upper body. Just like this to demonstrate, Luis can come up. Do you see? Very easily. So what I actually want to do in this position while staying very tight to his tricep, I want to extend my legs. Now if he tries to come up, try to come up. It's very hard. This is a better arm bar here than here. In the past, people have been taught like this. The problem is there's too much space and there's not enough pressure to finish that way, okay? So this is the first series we'll do. Well, actually second, connected to what Coach Fernie just showed. And then right now we'll have Professor Lee show another example of how to take the back. Any questions so far about this series? All right, guys, let's do it. 1, 2, 3.